Okay, let's dive in. Have you ever felt like you're drowning in data, but you're absolutely starving for actual insights? Well, that's exactly the problem Azure Data Factory was built to solve. We're going to look at how this incredibly powerful cloud service helps you get your data to the right place, in the right shape, and at exactly the right time.
And when I say everywhere, I really mean it. Just think about it. Your data is scattered all over the place. Some of it's in the cloud, some's on-prem, it's tucked away in nice structured databases, and it's also just streaming through messy, unstructured logs. It is a seriously complex landscape to try and navigate. So that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? The challenge today isn't just about storing all this data anymore, it's about orchestrating it. How do you actually take all these scattered, chaotic pieces, refine them, and turn them into something that can drive real, meaningful business decisions?
So in this explainer, we're going to cover the whole shebang. We'll start with the problem ADF is designed to solve, we'll break down its core components, see how it handles that tricky hybrid data situation, and then we'll get into deploying and managing it like a pro, with some really high-value tips. To really get our heads around the why behind Data Factory, let's use a real-world example. Because concepts are one thing, but seeing it all in action, that's where it really starts to click.
So picture this. You've got a gaming company, and they're collecting petabytes of player logs from their games in the cloud. But here's the kicker. All their most important customer and marketing data is sitting in a totally separate on-premises database. To get that 360-degree view of their players, they've got to bring it all together. And that, my friends, is a classic hybrid data integration nightmare. Okay, and this is exactly where Azure Data Factory comes into the picture. The best way to think about it is as the conductor of your data orchestra. It's the one telling each piece of data where to go and what to do. So let's break down how it actually works. First up, you've got the pipeline. This is your top-level container, the master plan that performs a complete task from start to finish. So for our gaming company, a pipeline might be ingest all the raw game logs, combine them with the customer data, and then transform everything for analysis. It's the whole workflow. Now, inside that pipeline, you have activities. An activity is just a single processing step. It could be a copy activity to just move data from A to B, or maybe a Databricks activity that runs a complex transformation script. It's one specific action in that bigger plan. Right, but how does the pipeline know where to find everything? I mean, how does it connect to the outside world? Well, that's where linked services come in. They are basically just the connection strings. They're what tell Data Factory how to connect to your SQL database or your blob storage or whatever else you've got. It's a crucial piece of the puzzle. And finally, we have the dataset. I like this analogy. If the linked service is the address of the library, the dataset is the specific book and chapter you need. It points to the exact data you want to use in an activity, like the customers table in your database or the daily_logs folder in your storage. Okay, now for the part that feels a little like magic. We've been talking about connecting to on-premises data, but how in the world does a cloud service like Data Factory actually reach into a private, secure on-prem network? The secret is something called the Integration Runtime, or IR for short. You can think of the IR as the bridge that connects all the pieces. It's the actual compute power that carries out the activities and makes all this secure, compliant data movement possible. And here you have a really key choice to make. For any cloud-to-cloud data movement, you're going to use the Azure IR. It's fully managed, it's serverless, you don't have to worry about it. But for those hybrid scenarios, like our gaming company, you'll need what's called a self-hosted IR, which is software you actually install inside your private network. And this is why that self-hosted IR is so incredibly critical for big companies. It basically acts as your secure gateway. It allows Data Factory in the cloud to reach into your private data center and do its job, all without ever exposing that environment to the public internet. It's a huge deal. Okay, so building a data pipeline is cool and all, but how do you actually manage it? How do you get it from your development sandbox into a totally locked-down production environment? This right here is what separates a simple one-off script from a true production-grade enterprise asset. The great news is that Data Factory integrates beautifully with tools like Azure DevOps and GitHub. This means you can treat your data pipelines just like professional software. You develop in a dedicated dev factory, you use pull requests for peer reviews, and then you use an automated release pipeline to deploy to test and prod. It's a proper, structured, and reliable process. And this right here, this is the golden rule. Seriously. Your test and production environments should be sacred, they should be locked down.
Changes only get there through your automated, audited deployment pipeline. No manual changes, no direct authoring, and absolutely no Git integration in those environments. Period.
All right, you've got the fundamentals down. So let's wrap this up with a few pro tips that will absolutely take your data factory skills to the next level. So, being thoughtful about how you manage your environments is absolutely key. Number 1, keep your secrets safe by using separate key vaults for dev, test, and prod. 2, stick to clean naming conventions. Use underscores or dashes, not spaces. It'll save you deployment headaches. And 3, if you've got multiple factors all hitting the same on-prem resources, share a self-hosted IR to cut down on management overhead.
Now, what happens when your workflows get really complex with tons of dependencies? Well, building individual pipelines for everything can get super messy. This is where a metadata-driven framework like the open-source project Procwork can be a total game changer. It lets you control your entire workflow from a simple SQL database, which makes everything so much easier to manage.
Okay, here's a freebie tip that is going to save you a massive headache one day, I promise. If your Databricks jobs suddenly start failing out of the blue with a 403 forbidden error, before you do anything else, check your access token. They expire every 90 days by default, and it is such a common but super easy to fix problem.
And that really brings us back to the key takeaway from all of this. What's the real difference between a simple script and a genuine enterprise asset? Well, it's things like monitoring, security, source control, and automated deployment. Azure Data Factory gives you the complete platform to build, deploy, and manage your data workflows, not as these fragile one-off jobs, but as robust, reliable, and scalable components of your entire data platform.